Hello, so with the recent change we got the skill tree rework and now all the perks in your skill tree are fixed and you don't have to spend so much time respeccing, but that also means that you're a little bit more fixed into some builds. And this is my updated video for Cook on the newest patch. So Cook is in my opinion still one of the best family members you can run. He is considered one of the legendary triples, how I like to call them, which considers the team of a Leatherface, a Hitchhiker, and a Cook. And if you run that with your team, I would say on most maps you're going to have the most success. I think he can be replaced on Abandoned Mill with Nancy, and also there is a chance that in the future in competitive gameplay he will be switched out for hands, obviously depending on the map. But otherwise than that, Cook is still very strong. The information he can get to your team is not to underestimate. If you like to play it fast as a victim, what the most experienced victim will do, you can actually get very punished by having a Cook in the enemy team, because he can just highlight you and then force you to play slow. So you cannot just run across the map randomly, especially as Leatherface is close. And also if you want to find the last victim and you just look around and you get a mark and you know exactly where it is super useful, because you know the area that you have to search. So starting with this attribute points. I like to put 40 points in savagery. The reason for that is because 40 is a very nice sweet spot, up to 45 toughness. So on 45 toughness you need 5 hits, and if they have 46 toughness you need 6 hits to completely kill a victim with Serotan. That is also a threshold for 25 toughness, and besides that, if you don't want to deal with victims with high toughness, I can say you can go 37, because 37 is the sweet spot for most of them. So you have the same amount of hits for 25, for 35, up to 40. And if the victims have more than 47 toughness, you need more hits. But yeah, I like to have it on 40. It's a nice number, it's good damage. And everyone besides the victims who run 50 toughness, which are very rare in my opinion now, will get punished. But yes, I say it's very hard for Cook to get 5 hits in a victim in a row. So depending if you still run out of stamina a lot, you can put that number even down. But yeah, I would say do not go below 37, because that's a very nice sweet spot, and having more damage on the few hits that a Cook can get in can be very important. Then we're going with the blood harvesting. Blood harvesting is the amount of blood you get if you hit the victim or you collect your buckets. So with 25 blood harvesting, you get 20 blood per bucket, and you're going to end up with exactly 100 blood. Which then means you obviously need to have 5 buckets collected to get 100 blood for leveling up Grandpa. Or if you kill a victim, you're going to end up with exactly 100 blood as well. And since I started to dislike collecting buckets a lot, I stopped putting points in blood harvesting. But if you say, okay, you don't want to, you prefer to get Grandpa level 1 ASAP, which is very nice if the victims don't play it too fast. You can put 38 points in there, but that's going to be covered with the second loadout now. So yeah, I would say blood harvesting 25. Get your padlocks down first in most of the maps, because if the victims rush and you spend your time running around collecting buckets, the victims can actually already be through your side or on the other side or wherever you want to put your padlock. So prioritizing putting padlocks down and then starting collecting blood. And yeah, that's why my blood harvesting is not as high. And then we're going to end up with endurance, and I tried a lot of builds with max savagery and 38 blood harvesting or doing like all that sweet stuff, but the most fun I had playing my Cook is with a lot of endurance, because at least you can get some hits in. You do not run out of stamina just by walking 10 meters. You can actually sprint a bit and still get some good hits in. So having high endurance is very important in my opinion for Cook. And I never really enjoyed playing Cook because he was not deadly and he was always out of stamina and you felt so useless because you can never really hurt and chase and kill. But with that loadout, I happen to see myself getting a lot of kills, even if those are my solo kills. Yeah, before we cover the second loadout, we're first going to talk about his skill tree. And for Cook, I always look for security pins. Because in my opinion, security pins is the most important perk on Cook. And when I play Victim with my teammates, I go to a side, I check if the Cook block has padlock there. I go to the padlock and I see if there's security pins or not. And if there's no security pins, I always tell my teammates, oh, the Cook is trolling, and they all know what I mean with that. Because a padlock without security pins is just no padlock. It's removed in 6 seconds, and with security pins, depending on your proficiency, and a lot of victims don't max out proficiency anymore, security pins can be very, very annoying, and most of the time victims don't even bother. So they call someone with fast hands or 50 proficiency or a Connie to remove it, because it's very, very, very annoying. So after I check where security pins is, I check the next important perk, which is Scout. So this is here. And then your path is obviously, well, given. And yes, I do still go the old build with Ceratoid. Like I said, that Ceratoid makes a huge difference in the amount of hits you need. So your build clears, obviously. You go from security pins to Scout to Ceratoid. And then you just go to the beginning where there is Exterior Alarm. And Exterior Alarm is one of the 3 best Grandpa perks. And the 3 best Grandpa perks are Exterior Alarm, Nobody Escapes Hell, and Suffocating Grip. So this is the build I would always recommend if you want to play the tryhard Cook, if you want to say it like that, right? The most annoying, the most impactful, the most scariest Cook you can ever have. But there is another way which can be fun to play. And no, that's not the right side, because on the right side is Universal Donor and Siphon and Bloodbanker. But this is just... well, then you spend your times collecting blood buckets non-stop, right? And I don't think that's fun. And yes, it's strong against low-level victims, but against low-level victims, well, that's bad. Because you spend your time being somewhere random on the map, getting buckets, then to run to Grandpa, beat him, they just stab him, and everything is gone and open. And yeah, that's why I say the other fun build, if you really say, okay, I do like to be the more supporting role of a Cook, you can start and go to the left. Because here you have a new perk, which is called Fresh's Best. And Fresh's Best means you get more blood from hitting victims, but less blood from collecting buckets. So you go now to the left to get this perk. And then you can go back to Scout where you were before, and then still get your security pins, but the other build over here is Surgical. So a build which you can run when you're still defending stuff. So you stay on your side, you defend your stuff. Maybe you wanna have Scout instead of security pins then, because like I said, it's so important. But without Scout, it's hard. Most of the time you get one hit in. So yeah, if I say you really want to try a funny, goofy, trolley build, you would run Scout, Surgical, and Fresh's Best. We tried it, a friend of mine have all these perks on level 3, and if you have Surgical and Fresh's Best equipped, you're going to get 54 blood per hit. So you're going to hit the victim twice, which will always be possible with Scout. And then you have enough blood to level up Grandpa. So this is like, I think in my opinion, the troll variation, the more fun trollish build. Then here's obviously on the right side, the same old, same old. I just run from blood bucket to blood bucket, where you have the Universal Donor, You have the Siphon here, you have the Blood Banker here, and you have the Universal Donor here. I would not recommend that. It's boring, it's not very effective in my opinion. But yeah, these are the perks I would recommend on the skill tree. And now we're going to talk about his perks. So what I've changed this build is the exact same build I've been running before on Cook. The difference is now you have 2 more points in your attributes. So you have more points to spend, which always nice and helpful. And of course the perk is Serrated, which means you get now more damage in. So Serrated stacks. If you get 3 hits in a victim, they will take 15 damage for the next 15 seconds now, which is very, very strong. And yeah, that allows you to have a very, very nice threshold on how many hits you need and can give you a lot of kills. Like I said, security pins, because without it, Cook is not doing what he is supposed to do and why he is so strong. And then obviously Scout, because base speed of Cook is very, very low. And I tried a little bit without Scout on Family House, but even if they run directly into you, sometimes you only get 1 hit in. So yeah, and with Scout you have a chance to get 2 or 3 hits in before the victims get away. So yeah, Scout is still... Mobility is key, right? And being faster where you have to be and then getting more hits on the victims once you catch up is just key. So this is my base loader, and of course we're going to have exterior alarm. If you say you like the support aspect more, right? So you like to collect the buckets, but you don't want to go right side on his skill tree to completely troll. So you want to still have the job that Cook is doing, but don't want to collect so many buckets and get more value out of a bucket. You can run this loadout. Because with 25 blood harvesting, you're going to end up with 20 blood per bucket. And with 38 blood harvesting, you're going to end up with 25 blood per bucket. So now instead of collecting 5 buckets, you only need 4 buckets. Putting this number up all the way to the 50 is not worth it, because if you do that, you only get 30 buckets. So in the end, you still need 4 buckets to level him up, right? So there's no real difference. And now you can get more points in endurance, so you can actually run quicker somewhere and get more hits in, because yeah, more endurance is more hits because you need less stamina for hit. And then you can combine that with surgical if you really want to go hardcore all in, because now you get 25 blood per bucket and you also get 25 blood if you hit a victim. So this is, in my opinion, the full support loadout with slowdown. And if you say, okay, I don't want to go that hardcore all in, or you find yourself running out of stamina still, you can go unrelenting to have a little bit more stamina, but that obviously depends on your playstyle, right? You can still switch it up and say, okay, nah, I still want to do damage, you can do this, but then I would say, right, maybe make this so it's actually worth it to have the thresholds. And then you have a very, very low amount of endurance, so it's very risky, but you can try it out, whatever you want. I would say if you really want to go dirty at blood harvesting, make the maximum use out of it and pick surgical as well. And then as well, we're going to end up with exterior alarm on this build. For his executions, I do love the new executions they released. I think it's just the best fitting for the Cook. It fits his character. It fits how he would kill in real life if you consider how he is, how he talks. But besides that, I also do think this blind splitter is pretty nice. And yeah, there's not a lot of difference when it comes to time management. Easier said than done is, in my opinion, one of the longest. So you don't maybe want to pick this. But yeah, I love to go with the lovely neck. And yeah. That's it for his loadout. Now we're going to talk about his ability skill tree. So in my opinion, this is the way you want to go to. Because you always want to end up over here. So if you mark a victim that's highlighted for your family, and yes, we tried a little bit with the left one, because if you know the map perfectly, you know the callouts, and you play a 3-man squad, which you communicate, right? You focus on the victim easier. So you get them highlighted easier. But you can also do the same with here, but you just don't highlight. If you get your noise meter somewhere over there, you can still tell your teammates it's over there. And do not underestimate the wall hack this perk gives. Because even if you highlight someone in the basement and Leatherface sees him through the wall, the amount of hit that Baba can get in is insane. Also, if you say, okay, somewhere is by 2 storage, but if it's in front of 2 storage, left of 2 storage, it's hard to tell from your position. With wallhack, your entire family will see it. So that's just why you always want to go and aim for here. And obviously, if that is your plan, you need to either go take this one or this one. And yeah, having a higher range to highlight victims across the map then just only makes sense, right? So you have the detection range, and then you need the ability train to combine that, because, well, this won't stack. I thought this will stack, then you will take it, right? So it doesn't stack, so don't do it. And the recharge rate is not as important as your drain, so you can use it. This is kind of doing the same, because if you use it for the same amount of time, well, you will have it back, but you can use your ability, even though you don't have it maxed live, but here you use less, so you can stay longer in your seeking and just let it completely drain. So yeah, this is why you want to take the ability train. And then obviously, even it's you say, okay, I want to go over here now, it doesn't stack, right? So you always will go here. And then, yeah, after you got these 2 points, you can decide what you want. You can try this one out, right? If you really want to, maybe you figure out with your squad you have more success. I would say if you just want to farm points and you want to level up all the perks you have, yeah, this one, because you only get the points if you lock in. But in general, even if you play solo, or you don't want to talk, or your teammates don't have voice chat, right? Giving, like, information is key, and giving information to the entire family is key. And yet this is just useless. So don't even think about that. Yeah, this is a skill tree which you want to take, and you always want to play in all your games. And then your cook can be very, very scary to all the victims and very helpful to your teammates. And everybody is going to love you. Everybody wants to have a cook in his team, especially a Leatherface. So yeah, this is it. This is my updated video on the cook skill tree and this loadout. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you liked it. I hope you're going to make some use out of it in your next game. And in case you did, make sure to leave a like. And as always, if you feel super nice, make sure to comment in the video below, or subscribe to my channel in case you didn't already. Thanks for watching and good luck in your next games. Bye bye.